Welcome back, everyone. We are continuing where we last left off with the completion of episode 2, and now we're continuing to episode 3, where our own player character is starting to enter the scene. All right, so now we're taking this perspective of our Mah'Abeu, and we're currently in the drop drone en route to the UIC Tabitha. The soft pulsing from the drop drone's vacuum thrusters whispered in silence, like a rhythmic lullaby as my small craft approached the UIC Tabitha. The large cruiser was all but invisible against the darkness of space, and I was barely able to define the silhouette of the massive hulk of damaged steel covered in oval repair scaffolding. As my shuttle closed in, the extent of damage became apparent. I'm going to try to play this as close to me personally as possible, to a degree. I'm more so a pessimist, but in situations like this, pessimism doesn't benefit me, so I would just tell myself it's not that bad. It wasn't that bad. Autonomous repair bots were swarming over the surface of the cruiser. Their welding flares sparked and flickered all across the hull, with thousands of fireflies dancing together to a silent rhythm that only they could hear. I could see extensive damage to the forward section of the ship. Several layers of dynamic armor have been violently torn away, exposing the internal structure beneath. The repair bots worked in the front section were busy stripping what remained of the compromised armor, peeling wires and chunks of reinforced sheet metal away, surface to be replaced later. I pressed my hand against the cold glass of the viewport and continued to study the visible damage. Even in its current state of damage, the Tabitha spoke volumes about humankind, resilience, our determination, our yearning to be more than we are, to reach further than we should. It's what drives us, and ultimately, it's what surprised the other species most about us. Repairing the ship will be no simple task, but even a voice on the comm channel from the Tabitha suddenly spoke up, startling me. Craft DD-LX-731, avert course. You are on the collision trajectory with the UIC Tabitha. Tabitha docking control. I'm aware. I'm scheduled to dock and I'm looking at the schedule right now and we don't have any. I'll take it from here. Yes, Captain. Excuse me. Apologies, Mah'Abeu. We were instructed not to create any records of your visit that could be verified afterwards. I understand. Our automated docking systems are offline due to the ongoing repairs, but I'm sending a tug drone to bring your craft in safely. Thank you, Captain. I look forward to... Communication channel was closed abruptly before I could finish my sentence. They don't like me. I was plunged back into silence. I spent the rest of my approach waiting for the tug drone, studying the massive amount of visible damage on the cruiser, wondering what I had gotten myself into. Alright, gonna do a quick check. Okay, we can't add the portrait yet. Alright. A short while later. There we go. Good. Well, I'll go back in case there's anybody's first time doing this. If you right click or hit escape, go to the little menu wheel here, and you can click on profile, and then right over here you can click your avatar profile, add all the preset avatars that's been put into the game. And this is what they all are. I believe all of these are from real people modeled after that were sent into a creator or paid a certain amount on Patreon. to get their custom character put in. I myself have one, but this is from my OC. So not exactly my look, my face, but similar features of my face. The dots though are real. Anyways, which one are we going with today? Well, before you guys the rest. And here's how you can get your own portrait. Just go and subscribe to the Captain Admiral Patreon tier under Patreon, and then he'll send him a message, or he'll message you. I send him a message, but then you guys can work on getting your portrait edited. But we will go with, I'll choose this one. May change it later. Alright, back to the story. The drop drone was safely towed into the hangar. When the doors hissed open, I stepped outside into the brightly lit shuttle bay and approached a group of people waiting to greet me on the platform. Amongst them was Captain Malone, who briskly stepped forward. He was unhappy and made no effort to mask his arrogant annoyance. Yeah, that word. Captain. Yep, that word again. I scanned the room. Other than several heads nodding to acknowledge my presence, no one else said anything. No one was smiling. I wasn't welcomed here. I am Mah'Abeu here on behalf of Lunar Command 2. With all due respect, Mah'Abeu, know why you are here. I'm sure you noticed that the Tabitha is severely damaged, and with everything else that is going on, we don't have time for hand-holding. The future of... Captain, if I can just... The future of humanity is potentially at stake. Our peace agreement with the Cephalists, and by proxy our Concordant membership, is hanging in the balance. So excuse our reluctance to... Captain, that is exactly why I... use our reluctance to kowtow to the whims of ignorant bureaucrats and their... Captain, I'm here because Lunar Command ordered me to. You might not like it, and I might not like it, but that doesn't change our reality. So I suggest we make the best of our situation. We're all on the same side here. The captain glared at me. His eyes were staring into my brown. I have a regular brown. Into my brown eyes. He nodded defiantly. I will not be one of his favorite people, but it didn't matter. We will be able to work together, for now, at least. A dark-skinned man with green eyes stepped forward. This is Lieutenant Khalil Abadi. He is one of our security officers. He will escort you to your room so you can get settled in. Thank you, Captain. Khalil nodded and hurried off towards the drop drone at a brisk walking pace. I waited in awkward silence with the captain and the rest of the welcoming committee while the lieutenant collected my personal belongings. The lieutenant took longer than it should have taken to gather 2 crates and 2 bags. I was just about to return to the drop drone to check on him when he reappeared with my luggage, landing on a maglev cart. Ah, everything in order? Yes, Captain. The maglev cart was purring softly behind him from the weight of my baggage, and Khalil pulled the cart until he was standing next to me. Shall we? I nodded. This way, sir. I nodded again and silently fell in step behind him as he led the way forward, away from the welcoming committee. Lieutenant Khalil continued to lead the way towards the living quarters, with the maglev cart between us, following him. We walked in silence. Several technicians and repair crews scurried past us, eager to reach their destinations. They were polite, nodding in acknowledgement as we passed each other. But I could detect soft whispering and murmurs once they were behind us. Khalil led me deeper into the cruiser, past several doors and corridors that were either barricaded or welded shut. Whenever he thought I wasn't looking, he would glance at me over his shoulder. Is there something on your mind, Lieutenant? No. Why don't I believe you? It's nothing. We're almost there. Out with it, Lieutenant. It's just, I never met Mah'Abeu before. Oh? I didn't expect you to be so young. So young. You do know that Mah'Abeu's come in all ages, sizes, and genders. Yes, of course. It's just that you aren't what I was expecting. No, I'm sure I'm not. I studied Khalil as we continued our walk, once again in silence. He was a large, muscular man. It was clear from the way he carried himself that he took tremendous pride in his body. Couldn't help but wonder how many hours a day he had to spend exercising to maintain his body strength in this low-gravity environment. We made a sharp turn and almost collided with a young woman struggling to drag a body bag behind her. Lieutenant, I'm sorry, I didn't see. The young woman noticed me and glanced away. I'm sorry. Another one? Yes, Lieutenant, one of the servicemen. Found him in the maintenance chute near engineering. Did he suffer? I don't think so. Less so than some of the others we found. Do you need help getting him to the morgue? No, I'll manage. Wait, take the maglift cart. You'll never make it to MedSec otherwise. The young woman glanced at me and then at my luggage on the cart. What about? Lieutenant Khalil bent forward and placed my luggage on the floor. Here, let me help you lift him onto the cart. The young woman glanced at me again, no doubt trying to see if I would object. Yeah, nah, the luggage is not that serious. We're gonna encourage this. Khalil looked over at me and then effortlessly lifted the bagged corpse, placing it gently on the maglift cart. Thank you, sir. He placed a large, encouraging hand on her shoulder. You hurry on now. She thanked him again before continuing on her way, cart lagging behind her. Couldn't help but notice how relieved she was just to get away from us. No, not us. Just me. I looked over at Khalil. People don't seem to like me very much. Khalil studied my face with his alert, emerald green eyes before lifting my luggage. He nodded. Yes, nothing personal. People don't like change. He shifted the weight of the two crates, maneuvering them so he had one beneath each arm, or bending down to grab a duffel bag in each hand. Do you need a hand with that? I knew how heavy the crates were, even in low gravity. I had to get them onto the drop zone before departure, and yet he made it seem like they weighed less than pillows. I could help with one of the crates. No, I'm good. Thank you. It was impressive to watch him carry all my belongings. He wasn't even breaking a sweat. As we continued, I glanced at the corridor wall. It was scorched black, seemingly from a fire that had originated in one of the conduit panels lining the floor. Tell me, Lieutenant, just how bad is the Tabitha damaged? He stopped walking and turned to me, studying my face again with those intense green eyes of his. It's serious. MedSec is having capacity issues with all the injuries, and engineering is struggling to provide enough power to keep the whole ship running. A lot of crew members are still unaccounted for. Aeroponics has warned that we could lose the whole harvest from the current crop rotation. Our long-range communications are still on the fritz. That is serious. But you don't know the crew like I do. Nothing the right tools and enough time can't fix. Speaking of crew, how are they handling it? He didn't answer me. Instead, his eyes were searching my face for something. You can trust me, Lieutenant. Can I? We're all on the same side, aren't we? Yes, that is what you have been saying. Sighed. How were these people so obtuse? Didn't they realize I was here to help? We continued walking in silence until Khalil stopped and lowered my luggage to the floor, placing it neatly against the wall next to a closed door. Your room. Oh, thank you. I walked over to the door and placed my hand on the palm lock. It took a second before the system recognized me, allowing the door to slide open. Do you mind helping me with my... He had walked away. He was already several doors down the corridor. I looked down at 2 crates and duffel bags, wishing I still had the mag lift cart. I'll have to push the crates through the door by myself. The overhead lights flickered to life as I stepped inside, and the doors hissed closed behind me. I sniffed the stale air. I was finally alone with my thoughts. My thoughts, and whatever was faintly smelling like forgotten laundry. That nasty mildew smell. Ugh. I guess this is home. The room was small and utilitarian, devoid of any luxuries. There was a desk and a data interface against the wall closest to me. There wasn't much storage room, but then again, I didn't bring many belongings with me. I needed to look around the room. Felt like falling on the bed and going to sleep. I needed a shower. I hadn't had the opportunity to shower since I left Lunar Command a week ago. While I probably wasn't stinking yet, I felt sticky, filthy from all the acclimated sweat, particles, and recycled air. I peeked into the tiny bathroom. It was even more utilitarian than the bedroom. There was not an inch of wasted space. I stripped my clothes from my body, letting them fall to the floor and kicking them into a corner while stepping into the small bathroom. A digital interface controlled the shower water's temperature. I uploaded my saved shower preferences from my data pad. The warm water against my skin and sore muscles was heaven. The human body was not designed to be cooped up in a tiny tin can for days on end. I could feel myself starting to relax as the warm water rushed down my neck and my back. I knew I had to make the most of this moment. Tomorrow will be a new day filled to the brim with challenges. Missions like these were never easy, and I've come to appreciate any opportunity, including a good shower, to collect myself. The heat from the water was divine as it washed over my tired body. As much as I wanted the moment to last, I couldn't stay here forever. I had to finish up. I reached for the dispenser and squirted the silky liquid into my palm before massaging it into my... I have medium hair. And it is curly. Well, it's a mix between kinky and curly. But for this instance, we'll just go with kinky. My medium long kinky hair. A leftover quirk from some of my formative years at the academy made me accurately aware how long I've been showering. There was no water restrictions on the cruiser since everything was constantly being recycled. At the academy, we had shared showers and strict schedules. Every minute spent in the warmth of the water was a minute one of my classmates was out in the cold. It always bothered me. It bothered me. Even after all this time, I couldn't shake the feeling of unease when indulging in the warmth of the water. It was silly, but old habits died hard. When I had finished showering, I wrapped the standard issue towel around my waist and stepped back into the room. I still had to unpack. I was tired, but it wouldn't take long. and the sooner I had it done, the sooner I can get into bed. I walked over to my belongings and started unpacking crates, placing their contents in the various storage cabinets around the room. When I got to the duffel bags, I unzipped the first one and reached inside, looking for the parcel wrapped in cloth. Not gonna lie, I'm a messy person, but I also can be very neat. But I'm more so messy. I found it hidden amongst my haphazardly packed clothing. Got you. I carefully unwrapped the parcel, revealing my prized possession. We'll go with the knife, because I am a Blades fan. It was a small carbon fiber knife, nearly undetectable when hidden on my person. It had been a gift from someone close. No, someone who had been close to me. It needed a good hiding spot, but where? I scanned the room until my eyes caught the bed. I lived on a few cruisers like this. I knew there was a small panel just below ankle height that I could unscrew. The panel covered a small cavity filled with obsolete fuses that I could safely remove to make room for the knife. It was perfect. I crouched in front of the panel and used my smart tool to unscrew and remove it. The fuses were next. In less than 2 minutes, the knife was safely hidden and I could finally sleep. Sleep did not come easy. It never did after a busy day like this. I tossed and turned, my mind taunting me, one memory at a time. The image of the crippled ship as I approached. The same ship that would be my home for the foreseeable future. The image of the captain's face, filled with contempt and annoyance. The image of the charred walls, the body on the maglev cart, the fear radiating from the young woman's face when she saw me. Her fear becoming my fear becoming dread leading to the vast, empty void of space. Empty space. Empty. Gonna do a quick save. All right. One moment. Real quick. Ooh, excuse me. The next morning came sooner than I wanted it to. I went through my morning routine, dressing into uniform and getting ready for the day. The uniform was uncomfortable. I wasn't used to wearing something so form-fitting. I reached down and adjusted my pants, ensuring we are male. Though my wife has told me my character's portrait does not look like a male, and I kind of get it, but I still like it. Ensuring my bulge wasn't too pronounced. When I opened my door, I was surprised to see Lieutenant Khalil standing in the hallway waiting for me. Assuming that means morning. Good morning. The lieutenant was leaning against the wall, and it seemed like he had been waiting a while for me to come out of my room. What can I do for you, Lieutenant? I'm here to escort you to wherever you want to go. Oh, is that really necessary? It's a large ship, and you could get lost. I nodded. It was a good answer, but I suspected it wasn't the whole truth. No one had to keep an eye on me after all. He'll take me anywhere I wanted to go. Anywhere you ask. He was smiling disarmingly without breaking eye contact. Anywhere I ask. If the crew were hiding something, it will either be in plain sight, somewhere they expect I would ask to be taken. If they were hiding something. I sighed. I've been dealing with criminal elements for so long, I'm just always assuming everyone has an ulterior motive. Sad truth is, I was usually right. Have you been waiting long? No. Good. What's on the agenda for today? I turned to close the door behind me. In the shiny reflection of the palm lock, I noticed his eyes studying me from behind. I wonder if he knew I was only attracted to women. I was attracted only to women. Was he checking me out? Honestly, there's no characters let me rephrase that. So far, I've met all the crew members I meet through my playthroughs. I have not disliked any of them. So, we'll have a fierce friendship. I spun around to confront him. Is everything alright? Yes. I realized he hadn't been checking me out at all. Instead, he had been staring at the palm lock on the door frame. Remember to secure your door. What? Oh, thank you. That was almost embarrassing. Good save, Rilo. We should get going. Where do you want to go first? I'd like to visit some of the departments that are critical to our sustainability. Very well. Captain has also asked to see you when he is free. When is he free? When will that be? He should have time this afternoon. We'll see him then. Khalil nodded. So, in the meantime, where am I escorting you? Let's start with... let's go aeroponics first. The first thing I noticed when I walked into aeroponics was a terrible smell. Something was rotting. The second thing was the growth chambers containing an assortment of plants. There were also several tanks, some filled with water and fish, others filled with small rodents. I heard the sounds of someone humming against the plants. The melody was soothing, like a lullaby. At the same time, it was haunted, deep sense of sorrow and loss. Hello? The humming abruptly stopped. Oh my goodness, you frightened me. I thought I was alone. I couldn't see the speaker, but the voice coming from behind the growth chambers was sweet, cheerful. Have you seen Lebany? I was told she would be here. There was a brief moment of silence, and then the voice rang out again. Who is looking for her? I am. The air was once again filled with cautious silence amongst the aeroponic growth chambers. It was covered in dirt. Several dead leaves were sticking to her uniform. In her hands, she held a pruning laser. You found her. I'm Lebany. He winked at me playfully. Aren't you a cutie? I don't believe we've met before. Yeah. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Girls like Lebany, definitely my type. Not my personality wise, not so much appearance. The other side disclaimer. We are flirting with everybody. Every open relationship. I winked back before answering. No, we haven't met. I'm Mah'Abeu. Oh my goodness. To what do I owe the honor of having a Mah'Abeu come visit me? Her tone of voice was overly sweet and almost sarcastic, but she seemed genuinely sincere. I'm introducing myself to some of the critical department heads to see how and where I can get help where I can get help, where I can help to get the ship up and running again. Would you look at that? A critical department head. She chuckled at herself. I've definitely been called far worse. You are the department head of aeroponics, right? Yes, of course. But how can I help? She smiled mischievously. Well, if you want to make yourself useful, you could start by pruning some of the... No, I meant how can I assist your department help get back up and running after the attack? I know. I was just having some fun. So we're back to calling it an attack? What do you mean? Christopher incident called it an attack. Yes, it's clearly an... I'm sorry, but where is that terrible stench coming from? Oh, you noticed. He smiled. That's the smell of death and decay. I don't. What? Dead fish collected from the overflow tanks. It smells terrible. I'm working in here. Oh, it doesn't always smell this bad. I've just had more fish dying than they usually do. Why are they all dying? Can't someone do something about it? Of course, someone's already helping. Well, that's a relief. I'd like to meet with them also. Who are they? Took another step closer to me, smiling. You just told me you were going to help me to get aeroponics back up and running again. I smiled. Well, I guess it will allow me to spend some more time with you. Oh, look at you making a lady blush. What needs doing to stop the fish from dying? Not just the fish, the plants, animals, everything in here. I don't have enough power to run all the necessary filtration systems. Everything here is slowly dying. Not good. No, it isn't. Aeroponics is responsible for all of Tabitha's renewable food sources, and our algae tanks supply 30% of the ship's life support. He gestured towards the door. If everything in here dies, everything out there dies. I've been rationing my available power and cutting into my safety margins by shutting down some of the growth chambers. But even with the reduced crew from all the casualties we suffered, the safety margins are almost already razor thin. I didn't realize things were so dire. You seem so calm about it. Oh, I'm not a drama queen. I live life by the hour. In my experience, people who claim they weren't drama queens were usually the biggest drama queens of all, and yet she seems so sincere. Okay, let me see what I could do about getting you more power. Well, I need to get back to work. You go do what you have to do to keep us all from dying. I'll be back soon. I'm counting on it. When I returned to the corridor, Khalil was gone. I was just about to do some solo exploration when he reappeared. He was slightly out of breath. What's your general concern? Is everything all right? Khalil smiled at me, still catching his breath. Yes, everything is fine. I frowned at him, but he didn't seem to notice. How did it go with Lebany? It went well, I think. I thought it would. Lebany is one of the kindest people I've ever met. He wouldn't hurt a fly. So, where to next? Next, we'll go to MedSec. Khalil led me to MedSec. There was a crowd of injured people in the corridor outside, making it hard to get to the door. Are these all the injured people from the attack? These are the ones that aren't critical. They're still able to walk. There's more? Khalil stopped and turned towards me. He was quiet, studying my face again. It was an intense moment of silence. Piercing green eyes made me want to melt into the crowd of injured people surrounding us. Yes. He turned his back towards me and continued making the path for us through the crowd. Question seemed to have upset him. I thought it was wise not to push the subject. Make some space, please. He was gentle but firm with the people blocking the corridor, and on more than one occasion, he had placed a large hand on someone's shoulder to guide them out of the way. Here we are. Dr. Amaya should be inside. Let me know when you're done. I'll escort you back. Thank you, Khalil. I really don't need to be escorted. It's my job, sir. Um, let's try to be friendly. I actually like Khalil. He's a cool dude. Smiled. Very well. I'll see you after this. Khalil nodded at me and stepped into the corner, assuming an at-rest position with his back against the wall. I squeezed past a group of people blocking the door. Hey. It was a young man who spun around angrily. He froze in terror when he recognized me. I'm sorry, I need to get in there. He nodded and stepped aside from me. I'm looking for Dr. Amaya. Do you know where she is? The man looked at me, pointing in the direction of a woman standing at a bed with her back towards us. Excuse me. Is that her? He nodded again. Thank you. He seemed relieved when I walked away from him in the direction he had indicated. I continued to squeeze past people until I reached the doctor. Dr. Amaya's back was still towards me, and her attention was focused on the patient in front of her. Dr. Amaya? Yes? What do you want? I'm a little busy at the moment. I wanted to introduce myself. I know who you are. You're the Mah'Abeu, sent here to report on all of our faults and shortcomings. I'm sorry? Turned around to face me, her whole body radiating annoyance. What do you want, Mah'Abeu? I really don't really have any time to waste. You can call me Rilo. I think Mah'Abeu will be just fine. Why are you here in my department? I'm here to see what I can do to help you get MedSec up and running again. Excellent. This took much less time than I anticipated. We are up and running, so you can see yourself out. She turned her back towards the patient, needing to take notes on her data pad. Doctor, I'm not your enemy. Let me help. She didn't look up from her tablet. You're not a friend either. And right now, you are an annoyance. This doesn't have to be unpleasant. I'm just doing my job. And by doing so, you are preventing me from doing my job. Do you know how many... She turned back towards me and sighed. Look, what will it take for you to stop bothering me? I looked around the room. There were so many injured people, they barely had room to stand. I couldn't see a single empty bed. You're obviously over capacity. What can I do to help you treat your patients faster? Fine. If you can get me more power from engineering, so I can run a second skin grafter to help the burn victims, it will have the treatment time for my patients. Okay, I'll get you that additional power. He snorted. Good luck convincing Matthias. If you somehow get me the extra power, then Actually, it doesn't matter. He won't give it to you. I'll get it done. See you soon. It's not like I have a choice in the matter. Now let me do my work in peace. I nodded goodbye before returning to Khalil. He was waiting exactly where I had left him. How'd it go? I think the doctor likes me even less than everybody else does. That sounds about right. Dr. Amaya rarely has time for pleasantries. Is she good at what she does? He's the best. Then I don't care about pleasantries. Lil tried to hide a smile as he spoke. Where to next? Good old engineering. Khalil and I could hear the muffled shouting between before we reached the door. First reaction was concern. Then I noticed Khalil smiling and shaking his head. What's going on? Raina. Who's Raina? Raina Marine, our communications specialist. She has a thing for Matthias. Oh, so all this shouting is normal? Khalil shrugged while smiling. It was clear that he was amused. Normality is subjective. We reached the door, and Khalil placed his hand on the palm lock. Ready? I nodded, opened the door. Matthias, just stop being you for a moment. Raina, I'll stop being me if you stop being you. Just because you want it doesn't mean you can have it. Well, just because, ugh, you are impossible to work with. Stepped inside just as an angry woman, presumably Raina, rushed to the door, crashing into me. She was so upset that she didn't seem to notice me. Hi, I'm looking for Matthias. Matthias over there. Won't do you any good having found him, though. He's proven to be extremely unhelpful today. What's going on? What's the problem? He won't increase the available. Raina, I can't. Grid is overloaded as it is. I can't allocate more power to your... I need that power. Without it, we're entirely isolated. Raina, comms just isn't a priority right now. We have far bigger issues. It's not right. Other than notifying Soul that we've suffered heavy losses, I haven't been able to send a single message. We'll reestablish communications as soon as it's safe to do. Matthias, just imagine for a second that you are a parent or have a spouse back home. You've just heard that there was an attack on a ship where your loved one is serving, then nothing. Radio silence for days. Raina, it's not that I don't want to help. Malishka is at her limit. There are more important... It's not right, Matthias. Not fair to those families. I can't help you, Raina. You're a selfish, boorish, heartless monster. I'm sorry you feel heartless. Raina, I can't. Heartless. Raina brushed past Khalil and me, stomping down the corridor as she left. Matthias looked tired. You must be Matthias. I am. You must be the Mah'Abeu. I nodded. Will she be okay? Don't worry. Raina means well. What she lacks in tact, she makes up for in passion. What can I do you for? What can I do for you? Please. Khalil stood beside me, his arms folded and smiling. He knew what was coming. He seemed to be enjoying it. I need you to increase power to aeroponics and MedSec. Matthias lifted his head, staring at the ceiling. Not you also. We'll need to find some solution. People are dying in MedSec, and if aeroponics doesn't get the power it needs, I'll be joining the corpses in the morgue. Oh, well, in that case, let me press this button to increase the power output. Really? There is no button. Can't increase the power output any further. Look, it's not like I don't want to help. Like what Raina tells everyone, I'm not a heartless monster. So, what is the problem? Alishka. Core is overloaded as it is. The protective safety measures are deteriorating as fast as I can repair them. I increase the power output any more, the containment field will tear itself apart. Radiation will leak from the core, and if it continues, our destruction will be sudden and violent. Okay, I understand. No extra power for anyone. Finally, it's refreshing to talk to someone that gets it. But, theoretically, how would you go about increasing the available power? We'll need a miracle. Two of my 3 reactors are offline due to damage they sustained when they started the secondary repairs. But will you need to get them fixed? Ironically, more power to act as a catalyst in creating a new containment field. To do that, we'll have to have power down the majority of the ship. Something we can't readily do. So, what now? We can't just sit back and wait for death. Not quite, we just need patience. Once the external repairs are complete, and the Tabitha is berthed in the dry dock, we can connect to an external power source. Okay, when will that be? It'll be a few more days, then all the apartments can have as much power as they want. Thank you, I'll pass your message along. Gaius nodded and glanced at a notification on his datapad. I'm afraid the containment field needs calibrating. Again, if you'll excuse me. Of course. I nodded at Khalil and he led the way. Oof, now we can go command. Khalil led me in the direction of the bridge. We walked in silence. My thoughts were dashing around in rhythm with our footsteps. Each soft thud signaled a jump from one thought to another. I calculated just how bad the power situation was. The bridge. I'll wait here for you. I nodded and stepped inside. At first glance, the bridge seemed to be fitted in the standard TPA configuration. As I continued to walk deeper into the room, I noticed that the Concordat shipyards had made several changes and upgrades. They had done a great job of fitting a lot more extra tech into the old cruiser. Ah, Mah'Abeu. I was wondering how long it would take you to find your way to the bridge. Captain Raymond was standing on the command platform, monitoring the crew and their screens. He waved me over towards him. Yep, that word. Captain, is now a good time? As good as any. I'm sorry I couldn't see you sooner. It's fine. You gave me some time to interact with the crew. You look concerned. You seem to have a situation on the ship. Oh? We have a serious power. Yes, I'm aware of the power issues. We'll have it resolved shortly once we are berthed in the dry dock. This interruption caught me off guard. You didn't even let me finish my sentence. Rude. It won't be wise to wait that long. I'm sure your AI has already done the calculations by now. Our AI is in hibernation to conserve power at the moment. But yes, I've been doing my own calculations. Then you agree. It's too risky to wait until the exterior repairs are done. The captain opened his mouth to speak and then paused. Okay, fine. I'll instruct Lieutenant Barros to increase the power output. Wait, I thought that wasn't an option. Matthias doesn't have a high tolerance for risk. He made a compelling safety argument for running our remaining reactor at a maximum of 75% capacity. You made a better argument for increasing the output. Matthias won't like it, but he'll do as he's told. We'll go sincere. I have to be honest. Didn't expect you to take my advice. Mah'Abeu. We might not like each other, but we both are committed to doing what's best for this ship and her crew. I noticed the doctor walked in towards us. Captain. Yes, Dr. Amaya? She looked at me with a frown on her face and then back at the captain. Can we talk in private for a moment? Captain looked towards me with the raised eyebrows. Are we done here? Yes. Excellent. Khalil will take you back to your room. About that, is it really necessary for him to escort me everywhere I go? Dr. Amaya seemed impatient with my question, but I didn't care for that right now. I'm afraid it is. While you might be here on the behest of Lunar Command, Tabitha is a UIC ship, a UIC cruiser. It's protocol to have non-crew members accompanied by a security officer at all times. He was telling the truth. While we both knew he had the authority to break protocol, he wasn't about to do so for me. At least he didn't say it was to stop me from getting lost. Very well, Captain. Thank you for your time. Oh, she was looking pissed. It had been a long day. I was feeling exhausted. I was so immersed in my own thoughts that I didn't even realize that Khalil had stopped. I almost walked into him. Whoa there. Are you alright? I looked up at him. Yeah, I'm fine. I wasn't paying attention. Well, this is you. Yeah. I'll see you in the morning? Yes. Alright. He started walking away. Khalil, thanks for today. Don't mention it. The room was at a comfortable temperature. I undid my uniform jacket and pants and peeling the fabric from my... You have a toned body and dropped them to my ankles. Stepping out on a pile of clothes, I yawned as I approached the cupboard to change into something more comfortable. I opened the cupboard and something wasn't right. Someone had gone through my things. My pile of belongings that had been casually thrown, the cupboard had been shifted around. Clearly, someone had gone through a great deal of effort to return everything exactly how I had left it. I had almost missed it. Did I imagine it? No. I doubt someone without my Mah'Abeu training would have been able to notice it. In this scenario, I'll be amused. These silly people had no idea what game they were playing. This wasn't the first time I'd been on a mission like this. I wonder what they thought when they would. I saw the knife hidden in the panel near the bottom of the bed. Did they? Oh no. I rushed over to the panel and crouched to undo the screws with trembling fingers. Tearing the panel away, my hands darted into the cavity too. It was still there. I collapsed backwards onto the cold steel floor, relief flooding through my body. Cool metal felt hard and icy against the exposed skin on my back. It was painful to look at the carbon fiber knife. It had so many memories connected to it. It was the only thing I had kept from. Not myself. There was no point in wishing you could change the past. Back up. If someone was going through my things, I wanted to know. There was a small satchel inside one of my bags next to me. I got up to rummage through the bag until my fingers found it. This might work. Carefully opened the satchel and removed a small circular patch from the depths. When the bottom layer of the patch was peeled off and exposed to ultraviolet light, it will melt into a thin membrane invisible to the naked eye. I attached to one of the empty in-wall cupboards. If anyone tried to open it now, I would know. The slightest disturbance would silently tear the film, alerting me to the fact that someone had been snooping. Next, it's a tiny recording device from the satchel against the opposite wall, facing the empty cupboard. To the naked eye, the device looked like a smudged droplet. It had limited self-erasing storage space, but if the film was broken, I'll be able to check who had been in my room. Finally satisfied with my simple trap, changed and got ready for bed. I managed to get to sleep better than the previous night. I felt refreshed, feeling that I had not felt in a while. My morning routine was quick. I changed into my uniform, closing the zipper over my chest. Despite being a tight fit, the uniform was comfortable. There was ample padding where needed. Inside the clothing was lined with a protective polymer that clung to my body. It made the uniform feel like a second skin that regulated my body temperature. I grabbed my data pad and stepped outside the corridor just in time to see Khalil approaching from the corner. He seemed hurried. Howard again. Is everything all right? Yes. I mean, maybe. Maybe. I think you should follow me. What's going on? I just follow me. He turned around and started walking away. Barely had time to secure the door behind me. Where are we going? He turned his head back towards me without slowing down. The bridge. He'll be confident. Khalil, talk to me. What's going on? Did he just say that? Yeah, what's going on? Oh, whoops. I don't know any more than you do. All I know from the alert I received is that it's important. Fine. We continued walking at a brisk pace, and I had to exert some effort to keep up. When we reached the bridge, Khalil opened the door and stepped back. The door slid open. Concerned faces and hushed conversations filled the room. Commander Al-Hafak hurried over towards me. I recognized him from the description in the brief I had received earlier. Yep, that were again, Commander. I've read and heard so much about him and his family. Even though we just met, I felt like I already knew him. He was a kind, gentle man, much like his younger sister. Mah'Abeu, I wish it were so. What is going on? It's, Captain will explain. Very well. Lead the way. The commander nodded. We walked to the command platform where Dr. Amaya and the captain were busy having an intense discussion. You are sure? I'm certain. I first noticed it on Ensign Polyakov's scans during the Christopher incident when Mavine brought her to me. I'm sorry, can someone please explain what is happening? What did you notice? Dr. Amaya looked at me with disdain. She did not like being interrupted. A parasite mutagen. I wasn't sure at first. Once the chaosy attack calmed down, I took another look to confirm. Parasite. Is it dangerous? Too soon to say. I'll have to study it more before I can speculate. I do know that every crew member I tested so far has it. So it's contagious. No. Yes. I can't explain how it's spreading, but it's not transmittable through conventional means. I have initiated an emergency protocol to prevent it from spreading off-ship, just to be safe. So no one comes and goes. What is the extent of the infection? Are you infected? Yes. So are the captain and the commander. I'd like to run a few tests on you if that's alright. I looked at the commander and the captain. They both seemed worried. Yes, of course. Good. We should go right now. Right now? I have plans to. Please, Mah'Abeu. This is important. Very well. If you insist. Take the commander with you. Dr. Amaya frowned questioningly at the captain. Lieutenant Abadi is attending to some personal business. Dr. Amaya nodded. Oof. quick drink. Dr. Amaya led me to the only empty bed I could see and waited for me to sit. Commander Ahafa stood at the foot of the bed. Please remove your top. I need to access your shoulder. He pulled the overhead med assist closer. Commander immediately turned his back towards us and looked away. I removed my uniform jacket, peeling the fabric from my body and exposing my uncovered skin to the doctor. Cool breeze in my neck, my naked back sent a shiver down my spine. This will hurt a little, but then we'll have the results in a short while. I nodded. Dr. Amaya's fingers were warm against my skin as he adjusted the med assist. There was a soft hum from the machine followed by a sharp sting to my shoulder. There, all done. Thank you. The commander shifted his weight to the other leg, his back still turned towards us. I was about to reach for my jacket when I noticed the doctor studying my shoulder and chest. He seemed to be distracted. Her warm fingers were gently lingering against my skin. I will say Kiaria is one of my main romances. She has good character lore. Her touch was comforting. There was something comforting, almost electric, in the way her fingers rested against my naked skin. Her thoughts returned to the present as she noticed me looking at her hand resting on the skin of my shoulder. Sorry, so sorry. You remind me of someone. I smiled at her. He glanced away, and a moment later, she removed her fingers from my shoulder. Behind me, Commander Ahafa cleared his throat. Yes, you should probably get dressed before you catch a cold. Bold flirt. I mean, I could stay like this for a while longer. Took a step back from me. Why would you do that? Lots of reasons, but mostly you. You seem to be enjoying. Don't be silly. Get dressed. Her voice sounded higher than usual. She was trying to act upset, but her blushing cheeks and lingering eyes revealed far more than her words did. I smiled at myself while pulling my uniform jacket back over my skin. How long until we know? A few minutes. Where do you think the parasite originated? Is it possible the attack on the Christopher had a biological component? Dr. Amaya briefly bit her lower lip, thinking. No. The parasite seemed to already already established when I first noticed it. The initial infection had to have happened earlier than the attack. I'm thinking possibly during the covert mission Katsi. And you said you aren't sure if it's dangerous? The parasite keeps on mutating at an alarming rate, trying to adjust to our biological makeup. I haven't detected any harmful effects yet. That doesn't mean it won't change. That's peculiar for parasites, isn't it though? The mutation. Parasites do mutate over time. I have to admit, I've never seen one mutate this rapidly. But all we know right now is that we don't really know anything. Dr. Amaya nodded. That is an accurate summarization. There was a soft beep from the overhead med assist. Your results. Commander turned to face us while Dr. Amaya studied the information on her tablet, frowning. I have it, don't I? How did you... Your face. Yes, I'm afraid you have the parasite in your body. Well, nothing we can do about it now. Dr. Amaya nodded. I've been analyzing the parasite, trying to find something we can synthesize to neutralize it. With the grid not running at capacity, progress has been slow. I only have access to limited computing power. I'll talk to Matthias again. Captain Malone has authorized some additional power to be made available. I've heard. We're still okay for now. The parasite seems to be harmless to humans. An unfortunate mutation could change that in a matter of hours. You should report your infection to the captain. I'll walk with you. Oh, I don't think the doctor will be... No, it's okay. Change your plans. Let me grab some things. I'll meet you outside. I nodded. We didn't have to wait long for Dr. Amaya. May I? She was indicating to my uniform jacket. Before I could reply, she reached out and adjusted my collar. There. Thank you. We started walking back towards the bridge, with the commander trailing a few feet behind us. Can I ask you something about your Mah'Abeu training? My whole body tensed up. If I'm allowed to share it, I will. Oh, I won't ask you to reveal any secrets. Just, I've always been fascinated by your kind. My kind? I'm still human. Oh yes, I didn't mean it like that. I read almost every unclassified document about the Mah'Abeu project. I'm impressed. There's a lot of information out there. And yet, it sheds so little light on the subject. But, okay. So, I know there are several schools of training, right? You are correct. Most of them have been scrapped for ethical reasons. Yes, I'm aware. I haven't heard your question yet. Your training, was it... are you... The voice trailed off into silence. No, I'm not from one of the scrap disciplines. You have nothing to worry about. And this is basically a class selection, which is only 2. Which, are you task oriented or people oriented? I would prefer to have been like Combat 1 for just personal lore reasons. Because we do learn, I believe, in the future that your Mah'Abeu did perform some tasks during the war, but it wasn't nothing like a soldier. He was more so like recon and I believe possible assassination here and there. But we're gonna go task oriented. I was trained as a Mataher. Dr. Amaya looked much more at ease. Don't mind me asking, what exactly does that mean? Well, as a Mataher, I am a strategist of sort. We're trained to understand the nuances of a problem down to the smallest detail, and then determine the exact course of action to resolve it. I see. Dr. Amaya went silent for a bit while we walked. Have you always known what you wanted to be? Known? Yes. Wanted? I guess. Did you not want to be a Mah'Abeu? It's not that simple. I was selected to be a Mah'Abeu before birth. My whole life, I've known who I am and what my purpose is. You didn't have a choice. After you were born? We always have a choice. But, okay, does it upset you that they chose you to be Mah'Abeu before you were born? A decision you had no say in? I thought about the question for a bit. No, it doesn't. But don't you sometimes feel it was unfair? Unfair? What does it have to do with anything? Unfair that I didn't get to have a normal life like everyone else? Or unfair that I was chosen over everyone else? This is just how it is. Is it fair? No, I guess it isn't. Is it fair? Is it unfair? Someone has to do it, so also no. It's just how it is. We had arrived back at the bridge, and the commander stepped forward to open the door for us. The room was still tense, and most of the crew had some time to process the news about the parasite. Dr. Amaya headed for the command platform. I was about to step forward when Commander Ahafas came to stand next to me. I don't mean to pry, but how are you doing? Commander? I know Kiaria is brilliant at what she does, but sometimes forgets that she's dealing with people. I noticed. Don't take offense. It's just how she is. Thank you, Commander. I was about to join Kiaria on the command platform when he stopped me again. It's going to be okay. I glanced back at him. His brown eyes were filled with sincere concern for me. We don't know that. We still have to study the parasite too. I meant the crew, the cold shoulders you've been getting from everyone. Not everyone has been cold towards me. He smiled. No, of course not. We give the others a chance. You won't be disappointed. I'm sure you're alright. Captain Malone knows the commander and me. He was waiting for us to join him. What about the captain? Him too? Especially the captain. I joined Dr. Amaya and the captain. Yaria had already told the captain that I was also infected, and they were busy discussing options on how to proceed. I was about to give my input when the comm officers interrupted us. Captain, I have a comm request from Gate Control, Cephalus. Put them on screen. Is this thing working? I can't see them. Ah, you must be Kaftine Malone. I am High Mother. Ooh, Lord, these names. Lumen Nabia. Ooh, that's awful. I believe you already met Longkush. High Mother Elumabia. We are Elumenabia. Sorry? High Mother Elumnabia. You refer to her with the reverence and respect she deserves. She serves as one of the elders on the Concordat High Council. High Mother Nabia. An improvement. Nodules on the side of Longkush's head were throbbing from annoyance. This wasn't going well. I had to step in to save the situation. Captain, if I may, I'll handle this. I insist. Raymond whispered under his breath. No one outside the ship is supposed to know you are here. I stepped closer to him, bringing my lips to his ear. You are wrong. No one's supposed to know when I arrived. Lunar Command does not want to seem like they are doing damage control. Damage control? They aren't doing damage control. Aren't they? No. Let's be empathetic. Smiled gently at the captain. I have extensive training dealing with the Cephalus, so I will be talking to them. He seemed upset. Fine. Thank you, Captain. Turn back to face our guests. High Mother Helum Nabia and Mah'Abeu, speaker of these people. It was great to see a friendly face. Ah, my child, speak the truth. Might I inquire about the well-being of two younglings, Vera and Mavine? I received reports that they have been returned safely. I looked over at Captain Malone, frowning. He stepped forward with a smirk. Yes, they are well. Angels on her face gently trilled. She was either happy or excited. Opulence. Please relay my inquiries to them. Of course. Hi, Mother. Was there something you wanted to discuss? Ah, your thoughts are like that of a buoyant wave marker, always rising to the surface. I wanted to make content offer our support and assistance with your ship, but something else is wrong. Since the turmoil of a stormy ocean and those before me, deep dread like that one drowning above the waves. My years of training on the Cephalus and their speech patterns were coming back to me. I felt myself fall into a mindset and rhythm I needed from years of practice. It is true, our hearts are tied down and burdened, for we have received upsetting news. We have discovered the High Mother does not have time nor need to listen to. Patience, Longcush. Let the childling speak. Thank you, High Mother. We have come to learn that we've been infected by an unknown parasite. The damage we've sustained, we are not equipped to effectively study nor neutralize it. We were hoping the Cephalus could assist us in the journey of knowledge. Why, of course, childling. We will help however we can, but tell us about this parasite. We are unfamiliar with the concept. It is an organism that made us its unwilling host. Ah, like the grappa from the oceans of Cephalia. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with grappa. You have been spared hardship, child. Never apologize for that. Perhaps the concept of needleworms is easier to comprehend. It certainly does convey a more visual meaning. Needleworms are grappa that penetrate the still unhardened outer membranes of young spawnlings and burrow into the digestive tracts. If undetected, they continue to feed and multiply inside the intestines while I'm actually interested in hearing what she has to say. While growing, it will continue to feed and multiply inside the intestines while needling into other fleshy parts of the host. That sounds horrible and painful. It is truth you speak. The needleworms keep their host alive for as long as possible, but eventually, hunger becomes too much. The host succumbs, collapsing into a mass of writhing grappa. Is your parasite similar to this? No. Well, by definition, yes, but not quite as... It's not as dire as the needleworm infestation. Will you be able to help us? Yes, we will help our friends, our allies. Send us the information you have about your parasite. We will assist you to smother it. Thank you, High Mother Nabia. I will arrange for the information to be transmitted. Dr. Amaya, I'm already on it. Dr. Amaya was typing on her datapad as she walked towards the door. While we drift in anticipation to receive your data, is there anything else you require to speed up the recovery of your vessel? It's very kind of you to offer. We'll need a few more days before we can get tugged to a dry dock for the final repairs, and due to our strained power grid, we would like to achieve this as soon as possible. Excellent. If you allow it, I'll dispatch 2 additional crews of Cephalus engineers. They can assist with the internal and exterior repairs. Thank you, High Mother. That is very kind of you. May the currents be in your favor, carry you to your intended destination. May the winds of prosperity howl at your place of rest. My mother, Halum Nabia, nodded and the screen went dead. I took a deep breath of relief. It was always exhausting when dealing with the Cephalus. That was unexpectedly kind of them. With 2 additional uninjured engineering crews, our repairs should be done in less than 2 days. Commander, will you make the necessary arrangements to accommodate our Cephalus guests? Yes, Captain. Mah'Abeu, your speech. Where did you learn to speak like that, like the Cephalus? I told you that I received extensive training in dealing with them. Yes, I'm glad you were here. I'm sorry I doubted you. Perhaps the captain did have some redeeming qualities. It takes strength of character to admit when you are wrong. He did so without any shame or hesitation. Thank you, Captain. What are your plans for the rest of the day? Same as yesterday. I introduced myself to some of your critical department heads, but I like to check in with them daily for the next few days. Very well. If you feel that's the best use of your time, I won't interrupt. Was he being sarcastic? I couldn't tell. I do. I need to observe your crew and how they currently perform their duties before I can make any improvements. I assure you that every member of my crew performs their duties with the utmost efficiency. Of course, but there's always room for improvement. Captain sighed. Khalil will take you to where you want to go. When I stepped outside, Khalil was standing near the door. As I approached him, I noticed his hands were covered in scratches. I'm sure he didn't have those earlier this morning when he brought me to the bridge. What happened to you? Nothing. Did nothing do that to your hands? What? Oh. He moved his hands behind his back, out of view. I did a favor for a friend. You get that checked out before you get an infection. Nah, I'll be fine. Alright, your hands, I'm just saying. So, where am I taking you? Alright, we're gonna call it here for now. We'll continue this part of the episode later on. This video is already well over into an hour. I don't make it too long because then people's attention span start tuning out. But as always, it's been a pleasure having you guys come watch my video. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you have a great day and a great night. Take care.